Reddit, my mom met a guy online 3 months ago. She tells me yesterday she's moving from PA to Florida with him at the end of the week after they meet face to face for the first time. Supremely shady details inside. Using a throwaway. Too mindfucked over this and have a few friends on Reddit. Backstory: so my mom has been single for years. She's been divorced a total of 3 times, a 1-year marriage when she was 18, married to my dad for 10 years, then remarried my retard stepdad almost another 10, and her last relationship was probably 8+ years ago that was also to another waste of space, but she didn't marry that one. Recently, she started dating online, and myself and my older brother and younger sister have been supportive of this. We understand she wants to meet someone and she deserves it too. She's been relatively cautious up until now, and has been using a background check program on anyone she meets. She's turned away a number of scammer-type guys she's met, one she literally nicknamed Nigeria, and hasn't been easily duped. So she meets Jeff on another site. She had been using Match.com, where she met all the scammers. He came up on another site that isn't as well known. Jeff is a wealthy Russian businessman that has lived in the US since he was 23. He's got a daughter going to school in England, and owns a construction company and is planning to retire soon. Jeff and mom have been talking for a grand total of 3 months. The first month she even admitted she didn't talk to him much, since she was talking to all sorts of people when she first joined these dating sites, so really, let's call it 2 months. She's told me a few times before now that she really likes him, but that's been it thus far. She texted me Saturday night saying just that. Yesterday, she calls me. After the usual pleasantries, she drops the bombshell on me: her and Jeff are in love. He asked her to marry him. She said yes. The wedding is over the summer. He's visiting her in PA next week. When he leaves PA, she's going with him. This, all over the phone. They haven't met face to face yet. She's not sure how to tell her boss, whom she's worked for almost 9 years, that she's quitting, but he sure as hell isn't getting 2 weeks' notice. Jeff wants to take care of her. She doesn't need her car. He'll take care of it. She owes too much to sell it yet. He calls her his world. He's got money and doesn't want her to work. My mom has always struggled with money, and obviously, men. This guy comes along with a fairy tale story and wants to give her everything she could want. And she's hooked. Reddit, what the fuck? This is how 2020 specials start. I'm so incredibly worried about her, and can't make any sense of this situation. Yes, there is always the possibility that this guy is completely legit and he just wants to sweep her off her feet and make her happy for the rest of her life. Then again, if anyone told you they had met a wealthy Russian living in Florida who was about to retire on millions and wanted to do nothing more than just take care of them, would call it a fairy tale, and who would call it a scam. Additional details. Mom's not an American citizen. She has a green card and moved here from Australia about 20 years ago. I don't know if he's a citizen or not, but if this is what it's about, the joke's on him. Beyond whatever she might have in a life insurance policy and a little retirement, neither of which I have any idea of, but which I don't believe to be significant, she really has no assets. My brother bought a house and moved her in there. My brother and sister are in PA, but I moved to Florida and will, thankfully, be only about 2.5 hours from where she is planning to move. I have been cautiously supportive. I told her my main reservation is that she's leaving with him immediately. If he's got so much money, take a few months and actually date, then decide to move down there. I text her today asking for Jeff's last name and the name of his company. Her response was, "I don't feel like talking today. Love you." Dr. Mom met a guy online 3 months ago and is ready to get rid of her car, quit her job, and move to Florida with him next week. Sounds so incredibly scammy it makes me sick. Edit, formatting. Edit 2. Thank you, Reddit. I haven't spoke to my mom yet, but you guys have given me a ton of great advice. Needless to say, I'm more concerned than before, but that's only going to motivate me to really make her aware of just how shady this sounds, and how worried I am. I've got to get some work done for now, and have needed to all day, but oh well. But I'll update you on this thread periodically, as well as later on when something has been resolved. Edit 3. I know you guys are dying for details, and people have sent me some really helpful links. Right now though, I don't have his picture, so no tin eye or luck searching romancescam.com, no last name, so no people.com or unleashing the hordes of the internet on him, or anything else at the moment. I spoke to my mom briefly a bit ago, who is, unfortunately, at the hospital with my sister who is apparently going through a ruptured appendix. Mom claims she was just cranky when I texted her earlier, and that we'll talk tonight. Needless to say, it's been a shitty couple of days. Mom did say we would talk later, but for the time being, I really can't get any details about this guy. As soon as I know more, or anything has actually happened, I'll post details. But thank you again, Reddit. The support, advice, links, and wealth of terrifyingly similar stories has been hugely helpful. Edit for FYI, just to clarify, I'm a daughter, not a son. Smile. Edit 5 Reddit, you've been amazing. Thank you for all the feedback, suggestions and kind words. At this point, there's nothing I can do tonight. My sister is undergoing an emergency appendectomy, of all fucking days, seriously? And my mom is with her at the hospital. It's not exactly an ideal time to be pressing her about this guy. I'm definitely going to get details on him tomorrow, as I do believe she won't try to withhold that information. But until then, I can't offer anything else. Thank you all again. I've received some really incredible PMs about people with heavy-duty resources, and will definitely be following up with them, especially as soon as I have more info. Good night to you all. Much love. Edit 6 I know you guys are dying for details, so here is the only update I have for now. I got some very basic details on this guy that my sister had mentioned to my brother. With the help of some supremely rad redditors, we've ID'd a Jeff in the correct Florida city and gated community that I believe to be this guy. And when I say basic, I mean basic. I'm amazed that with the limited info I provided, people were able to find stuff, but I'll just say that I believe this to be the correct person, whether or not my mom's Russian is actually Jeff, or if said Jeff has had his identity stolen, I don't know yet. If this Jeff is the same guy, he's most definitely lying to my mom, since he's got a wife and his house is for sale. That's all for now, though. Mom's checking up on my sister for the morning at the hospital, then I'll be speaking to her this afternoon for details. Stay tuned, and thanks to everyone again. Major update, good news, everyone, so I spoke to my mom just now. She filled me on my sister, doing fine, by the way, and then we got into this current situation. She said that when I called her yesterday and expressed my serious concern about her leaving so soon, she said it was a serious wake-up call. She has also since started to take the blinders off on the warning flares that went up, and admitted to me that she is seeing more warning signs. She said that Jeff has, since she started asking questions just yesterday, clammed up. He's giving her the, I know your kids want to know all about the man that is sweeping you off your feet, but we need to keep our private life private. Thankfully, she acknowledges how fucking shady a comment like that is. Finally, she said he recently asked her to do a favor for him. She won't tell me what it is, could be receiving and shipping goods, could be sending money, who knows. She was adamant that she wouldn't tell me, but she's horribly embarrassed regardless. So here's where it stands, she says Bose thank you, gave her the wake-up call she needed and she's convinced he's a scammer. She's also horribly heartbroken and feeling embarrassed. She broke down on the phone and I swear it's been years since I've heard my mom cry. Thank God, however, that she isn't moving forward. However, what remains to be seen is the true identity of Jeff. With the help of some seriously awesome redditors, I believe I know who the Jeff is that this Russian is parading as. Her Russian definitely has a thick accent, and the Jeff that he claims to be apparently graduated from high school in Ohio in 1981, so I think it's safe to assume that Jeff has had his identity stolen. Her and I are going to email details tonight and see if we can't come up with more questions or leads on this guy. We will definitely inform the real Jeff of what's going on. There's good reason to assume he's innocent in this. The background info that other redditors have dug up isn't giving any indication that he's a shady dude, but we want to see if we can't find out more from the Russian first. In this case, if we can find out who the Russian really is, believe me, I'll go to /b/myself. Update on my mom moving to Florida with a scammer, and general rules for keeping your parents safe, if they'll listen. Hi Reddit. I figure a new post was a better place for an update, since the other one had gotten so crazy. 1. The most recent update is that mom is not moving to Florida with Jeff. She said I helped her see the light about the situation when I called her back about it after our first conversation. Thankfully, she took the blinders off, recognized that there were warning signs, and is completely convinced this guy is not who he says he is. Mom's really hurt, but thankful that she didn't let it go any further. 2. Nothing has moved forward over the last day or so since my sister got out of the hospital from her appendectomy. Work was really busy on Friday, and without the rush to make sure mom didn't pack up in the next few days, I haven't been as on top of pursuing more leads as I should have. That said, There are still some really incredible Redditors out there that have helped track down some really impressive info for me, and I plan on sending them some additional info that might give us an idea as to who the Russian is that is masquerading as Jeff. I'll post updates on this situation as they come about. 3. Lastly, this was suggested by another Redditor in the old post, and I really like the idea. I think it would be great if we could pull together a list of best practices to try and keep our friends and family, especially the older ones, safe when it comes to meeting people online. Once I posted my story, I was horrified at the abundance of people that had heard or experienced the same story, with slight variations. I think that it's one thing to say, "Mom, this sounds like a scam." It's another to go to her and say, "Mom, this has every hallmark of being a scam. It has A through Z on the list of warning signs." So I'll start. These aren't all necessarily pertaining to my mom's situation, but deal with details other people warned me of. Please feel free to contribute. Start at romancescam.com if you have suspicions. I was contacted by a mod there after they got a ton of hits. Thanks, Reddit, D, and they have a really great collection of stories and warnings from other people that have been hurt, duped, or lost everything. Rich, foreign businessmen do not find love on Match.com with middle or lower class women. If the new romance asks for favors that seem innocuous, receive and send some mail/packages, send a small loan, anything that a legal citizen with a job, a working phone, and a legit address should be able to do for themselves without any problems, it's not innocuous, and could possibly be criminal. Fun fact, if they actually are a Russian in Florida, run for the hills? I know it's all anecdotal, but the number of people commenting on the fact that Florida is the place for Russians and organized crime spooked me sufficiently. I would love feedback on this one. I wouldn't want to say, "Don't date foreigners," but the number of people dealing with stories of men and women from other countries with accents that woo too many people is highly common. Should one just assume that it's a red flag and be highly wary until their identity is actually verified? Thanks again for everything, Reddit. You rock my socks so hard. Seriously. I'm barefoot right now, D. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.